call the meeting of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners to order. Please rise for a moment of silence, prayer, and the pledge of allegiance.
Father, we seek your wisdom daily. Be with us in making decisions that affect the lives and futures of our families and communities. We pray that all communicate clearly, truthfully, and calmly with each other and the public. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of preparing accurate written minutes. Recordings are overwritten following approval of the minutes, eliminating all unofficial records of these proceedings. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held March 9th, 2023.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Are there any guests concerning county business at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on.
Next item is the Community Service Award, CCTI Website Development Project.
Maybe we should have our students stand up from CCTI and the representatives, so we know what we're talking about this morning.
So last year, it became apparent in the sheriff's office that we needed to update and revise our website. It was very outdated, really wasn't user-friendly, and we had difficulty trying to find an affordable provider. After thinking about the best way to proceed forward, it dawned on me that we may have a local option available that would create an ongoing relationship that would benefit everybody. So I reached out to Ms. Bartholomew there. We really have a true gem here in the county with CCTI. I think, the programs and the education that goes on there is truly amazing. So I reached out to Mrs. B at CCTI. She heads the Computer and Electronics Engineering and Technology class. And I asked if her class would be interested in taking on a project to work on our website. From that point forward, I worked very closely with these two upper class students in particular, Noah Breifogel and Phoenix Calavoda. These two young men attended several work groups with me to discuss the vision I had for the website. They demonstrated initiative and commitment throughout the project, and it formed a new relationship between the Sheriff's Office and CCTI. And I think it creates some amazing opportunities for us going forward. First, I think both of these young men now have something to put on their resume. They completed this project, and that's definitely a skill set that's marketable when they leave CCTI. Second, I think the underclass students who did not participate provides an opportunity for them to learn how to do this on an ongoing basis. The website will need maintenance, and it teaches them a skill set for a up and running website that is being used. And I think for the sheriff's office, it definitely was a fiscally responsible option because we only paid to host it and register the website. The rest of it was all due to these individuals from CCTI. Our new website is now live at sheriffcarboncounty.org. We're hoping that people will visit that, give us feedback, and this is an ongoing project, so if there's something that we can improve upon, we're able to do that. And as a result of their hard work, dedication, and commitment, I'd like to present the first ever Carbon County Sheriff's Office Community Service Award to Mrs. B, Noah, and Phoenix.
Come on up.
Nice job. Thanks for your hard work. Nice job, Phoenix. Thank you. That's yours. Thank you so much.
I don't know, Mrs. B or any of the,
Would you guys like to say something?
come on up if you would like to say something about the project, Mrs. B. And
It was definitely, this is my first year teaching at CCTI in my own classroom, so it was definitely an experience. We thoroughly enjoyed working with the sheriff as well as getting to see the inside of the sheriff's office and their duties and such. And it was, I believe it was a remarkable experience for the gentleman as well, to see the insides of the happenings of the Carbon County.
Gentlemen, if you'd introduce yourselves, your name and what year in CCTI you're at.
I'm Noah Braffable, grade 10 at CCTI sophomore.
Phoenix Calavoda, grade 11, and I'm a junior.
Any other comments you'd like to make about the project?
It was definitely an experience learning customer service skills as well. I feel like it definitely is going to help me, and it's going to be a good thing on my resume. I feel like.
Yeah, I just agree with what he said.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Amy, did you, good job, guys. Sorry, I'm still trying to get the media there. All right, don't go anywhere.
And you guys, before you need Miss B, if you would,
Yeah.
Nicholas Goldberg is our IT director. I think you should knock on the door back there before you leave and introduce yourselves, and let Nicholas give you a little bit of overview of Carbon County IT and the projects that they have done, even similar to what these fine gentlemen have
Good
done.
idea. Good.
And I'd just like to make one more comment before you leave. I was a student at, it was Carbon County Vocational Technical School, before it came this. And way back then, I was there in 1976. And throughout the years, I was on the board and I was on the authority when the building project started going through. And it's something really good to see that the students can go from here and actually go, like even like these guys of the nursing, you know, they can go right into nursing. And this is probably one of our valuable assets. And I think with the sheriff starting this, I think we have to use every department what we can through CCTI. And that's one of the things I think we're always looking for employees. That might be another base where we can get employees. You know, sometimes we're looking outside the box and maybe we should be looking inside the box. So thank you very much for what you do. Yeah.
I'd like to add that this morning I attended the Business Education Partnership Program. The CCTI was representative as well as 2 other school districts. And some of the discussion was this, on March 30th, they're gonna have a program at CCTI on careers and talk about the different careers available. They're gonna have different businesses come in, people that are different jobs, et cetera, and talked about workforce and getting the students out into the public like this, coming to the county meetings, going into county IT or into other businesses if they have an interest in that. They're gonna have some programs at the school, and then eventually they hope to get students out into the field to see what the jobs really are and what it's about to help develop their future careers, hopefully, so.
And Commissioner, I hope that this is the first of many opportunities for those
It
students there.
appears it would be, and I hope that program is successful, and should contact the chamber for more information for the news media. I don't have all the details with me, but it's a great program, and they're looking for 30 businesses to come to the school and do a presentation on what jobs are available and what they're all about.
I would add, you know, the county has regularly done internships in the summer in offices throughout the county, so that is another opportunity for engagement between the county and CCTI.
Yeah, through the Career Link as
Yep,
well.
yeah,
the
exactly.
Workforce investment, there are opportunities out there, and sometimes they even pay a little bit, not enough, of course, but it is a great career opportunity for the students in all school districts and Marion.
Thank you guys for letting me present it. to the
Sure.
meeting.
Okay, Amy, did you want to take a picture?
Ready, everybody? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
If I can get one too.
Sure.
Thank you.
We'll go see Mr. Goldberg in the back.
Thanks, guys.
You don't
Okay, our next item is the report of executive sessions held.
There were none.
Department reports, the budget transfers.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
There are no supplemental appropriations. Expenditures, approved payroll check numbers 74922 through 74941, and direct deposit check numbers 6051210 through 605-81632 for the payroll paid through the payroll fund checking account for all county funds totaling $668,323.66. This is the payroll dated March 10th, 2023.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Approval of check numbers 234935 through 235045 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account totaling $4,254,088.79.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Treasurer's reports, we have two.
Move to accept.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
A loan to the general fund. Ratify a loan in the amount of $4 million from the Capital Projects Fund to the general fund. The general fund will repay the Capital Projects Fund the principal and interest at the rate of 4.25% annum. It is anticipated that the loan will be repaid along with any accrued interest in June of 2023.
Move to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The personnel report for county departments.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The acknowledgement for courts and row offices.
Motion acknowledged.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Correspondence was received, copies as listed, copies will be made available to the press upon request. Advertising for ratification. Authorize the advertisement of a Zoom public hearing notice regarding the modification to Jim Thorpe Borough fiscal year 2020 COVID funds to move $10,384.35 from business assistance to Parks and Recreation, Camera Park, to install picnic tables and replace the pavilion roof.
Move to ratify.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Children and Youth. For approval and execution, the fiscal year 2022-2023 purchase of service agreements with Children's Advocacy Centers, Northeastern Pennsylvania of Scranton, and Loftus Vergari and Associates Incorporated of Wilkes-Barre, as per the attached rates.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The Correctional Facility for approval and execution. A service agreement with Johnson Controls of Allentown, Pennsylvania to conduct inspections and maintenance on the fire alarm system for a 3-year period from March 1, 2023 through February 28, 2026 at the correctional facility. The total cost per year: year 1, $7,982, year 2, $8,185, year 3, $8,483. All labor for any additional issues will be also covered under the PA contract 4400023962.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Emergency Management for approval and execution. The 2022 Annual Hazardous Materials Emergency Response Program Report for submission to the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
An LEPC appointment. Local Emergency Planning Committee, Mr. Thomas Katner of Nesquehoning Borough.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, and I just want to add real quickly here, this is the mayor of Nesquehoning Borough, and he's going to be representing the elected officials in the LEPC. You have to have different entities represented at the meetings, And Mayor Cotner was at the last meeting this week, yesterday, or the other day, or last week already, I think. And he has consented and will serve in that committee representing elected officials. Previously had Donna Gary from Palmerton on the committee, and since she retired, she'll be replaced by Tom Cotner.
Planning and Development for approval. Modification request number 1 for the CDBG program fiscal year 2022, Jim Thorpe Borough. Parks Recreation, Memorial Park. ADA Park Equipment Project, move funds in the amount of $82,136 to the Jim Thorpe Borough Housing Rehab Project.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
COVID-19 ARPA Whole Home Repairs Program for ratification. Award of funding for the COVID-19 ARPA Whole Repairs Program in the amount of $1,053,409 from the Department of Community and Economic Development for the term of December 12th, 2022 to December 31st, 2026.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Revision 5 for approval and execution. Revision 5 to the CDBG CV funds fiscal year 2020, contract number 75512 for reallocation of funds, moving $7,044.83 from business assistance, school health and homeless facilities, peaceful nights, to homeless facilities, family promise, hotel expenses.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Vehicle fleet financing for ratification. The proposal received by Enterprise Fleet Management of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, for one additional vehicle under the fleet financing and maintenance of the Master Open-End Equity Lease Agreement, approved April 27, 2017, agenda number 17-159, renewed on July 28, 2022, agenda number 22-368, vehicle monthly costs and partial maintenance program for a term of 60 months. This will replace the 2023 Ford Ranger that was approved on October 20th, 2022, agenda number 22566. It's one 2022 Ford F-150 Super Cab at $622.02 per month for the maintenance department.
Move to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The solicitor's report?
Thank you. For the Emergency Operations and Training Center, seeking approval and execution of change order number 5 to the contract with Cobalt Construction Incorporated of Tubbyhanna, Pennsylvania for Phase 1B portion of the Emergency Operations and Training Center project received from the county engineer. This change order decreases the contract by $5,754.26 for a new total of $2,527,619.36 due to the net cost changes for asphalt, aggregate, and transportation cost adjustments as per change order number 4, and an adjustment for guardrail installation as per change order number 1.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Seeking adoption of resolution number 23-6, recognizing Joe Fuzzy O'Donnell of Lake Hotto, Pennsylvania as the 2023 Shamrock Award recipient.
Motion adopt.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, at this time we'll take turns reading the resolution. Whereas the Panther Valley Irish American Association is holding its 74th annual St. Patrick's Day banquet on March 17th, 2023, as a means of preserving the Irish ancestry and recognizing a person of its nationality who has contributed to the region in service to mankind. And
Whereas Joe Fuzzy O'Donnell of Lake Hottle has met the ideals of the association through his commitment to his family, church, school, and community. And
Whereas the association will present Joe Fuzzy O'Donnell with its coveted Shamrock Award, honoring him as an everyday Joe who has generously helped countless people for decades. And
Whereas Joe Fuzzy O'Donnell is a 1973 graduate of Panther Valley High School and is the husband of Michelle O'Donnell. He was a school bus driver until he entered his long career in the propane gas industry. His career began in 1978 when he worked for Pyrofax, AmeriGas, Olds, and Sharp Energy companies. During that time, he did everything from being a delivery man to an installer and continues to work part-time for Sharps Energy, a Chesapeake company and a Northeast Chemical and Supply Company of Lansford in Pennsylvania
whereas Joe Fuzzy O'Donnell expertise in propane gas business quickly became a well-known and has enabled him to do hundreds of hours of volunteer work for area nonprofits. His never say no attitude helps to set up fuel capacities for Sacred Heart and Our Lady of Mount Carmel Catholic Church of Nesquehoning, the Nesquehoning Fire Company, and for annual St. Joseph's Festival Summit Hill. And
whereas Joe Fuzzy O'Donnell has been a valuable contributing member of his community for many decades. Joe Fuzzy O'Donnell and his family owned and operated the former Dewdrop Inn in Summit Hill, where they were proud sponsors of Little League Baseball, girls softball, and men's softball teams. Joe Fuzzy O'Donnell in his 49th year as a basketball official for the PIAA, where he has been president of the Tamaqua chapter for years. He is a life member of the Diligence Fire Company No. 1 Summit Hill, a member of the Sons of the American Legion Post 316 Summit Hill, the Ancient Order of Hibernians Jim Thorpe, and a social member of the Lehighton Fire Department.
Now therefore, the Commissioners of Carbon County hereby honor and commend Joe Fuzzy O'Donnell on the occasion of his receiving the annual Shamrock Award from the Panther Valley Irish American Association, and wish him well in all of his future endeavors. Adopted this 16th day of March by the Carbon County Board of Commissioners. And that'll be presented to Joe tomorrow night.
All right, and lastly, used equipment, seeking adoption of resolution number 23-007, authorizing disposition of various items of used equipment in accordance with the requirements of the county code.
Yeah, move to adopt.
second,
Mr. Honor?
yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Any further business? Okay, Commissioners' reports, Mr. Honor.
Yes, I do have a few things that might be wild. Through our cleaning process, I'd like to recognize our cleaning staff that is here. We had a mitigation company come in, they tore out ceilings, carpet, and moved things around. And I think it wasn't cleaned as much as I thought that, or what the staff thought it had to be. So we had our staff come in and they did a deep clean, and they really did it that the people that came in felt that they were safe. So I want to commend that for that. On the renovation project, hopefully by tomorrow or next week, we will have the estimate on what it's going to cost. And the insurance adjuster that is from CCAP, they were actually a third party that is from Crawford. And they and the contractors are trying to do this estimate that we hopefully will have by next week. Once we have the estimate, we are going to meet with all the staff, row offices, whoever the department heads are here, and we're going to try to figure out on how we can attack this problem. And I met with the adjusters and the contractors, and I stressed that this is a 5-day operation and it has to stay open. So what we're going to do, I can't really tell you, because it could be we get work one floor at a time. You know, it could be 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, or a half a floor, whatever will work out. But we have to definitely have the input from the administrators. But, and I said, this is all, it could even go that it could be working at night or weekends, and this will be incorporated into our claim. So it will not be any extra cost to the taxpayers because they see what we are. I mean, we are a 5-day operation. And well, I think we're gonna try and shift people around here, but we don't wanna take them too far just because of the IT part that we have to do with this. On the elevator project, tomorrow they are coming out to assess. Monday they will be here, and by Wednesday, April 5th, the elevator should be operational around the 5th or the 7th. It all depends how they get the inspection in, but the latest date would be for the inspection to be April 7th, and that's been long overdue. I'd like to congratulate Fuzzy O'Donnell, a well-deserved recipient for the Shamrock Award, and on to like the CCTI. I think everybody knows my comments that I have, and I always say that that is a very important part of Carbon County, and I said we have to use them more often. And I just want to thank the sheriff for starting maybe the ball rolling. And I think there were some projects that we even did up at the shelter that we could have used them for welding or things like that. So there's things that I think we're going to look in the future to keep them in the loop. And like I said before, we're always looking for employees, and it would be nice to have some of them come here and work for us. And that's about all I have to say.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yeah, coincidentally, on the agenda today, we both had acknowledgement of the contributions of CCTI in the whole home repair program. And I mentioned that coincidentally because as part of our whole home repair program, the scope of our a project in regards to this, we did include just over $25,000 that would be utilized for incumbent worker training and efforts in with Carbon County Technical Institute. The details of that to be worked out upon what will be a very short order arrival of those funds. We'll have the conversation with CCTI, how we're going to leverage that to help increase home habitability in Carbon County, aligned with our project plan. Secondly, want to make note, effective 1 March, the ERAP program, Emergency Rental Assistance Program for Carbon County, has ended due to a total expenditure of its funds. It was approximately $6.499 million managed by Catholic Charities. All direct assistance funds have been expended, have a few bucks of administration fees that remain, a few checks that have yet to have been cashed. The follow-up admin fees will be focused on, of course, closing out the project, ensuring those final checks are cashed. There are a couple fraud investigations that are ongoing, and they'll be all sorted out before we close out that project. Unfortunately, the most recent data for the program, official data from the state, only runs through September 2022. Don't understand why we have a 5-month lag in the official numbers. But as of that date, 1,075 requests for assistance were received. 1,011 were improved through the end of September 2022. We have invited Catholic Charities to come to a near future commissioners meeting to present the final numbers in regards to the program on behalf of the county. Let's see. Oh, this afternoon, Part 2, casting of lots for Kidder, Mahoning, Packer, 6-year supervisor position, and Toamensing tax collectors. That'll be run by the Director of Elections down in 44 Susquehanna Street. That's all I have.
I already talked about the one program, the Business Education Partnership, and what they're trying to do in getting these students out into the public as well, or into businesses. The other thing, I just wanted to point out, you looked at the agreements for children and youth and what some of those costs are, that daily rates. There's only two in there, that sexual abuse, forensic exam only, and the emergency interview or exam, zero. But there are some here, physical abuse, emergency forensic interviews and exam, $1,000 a day. The preparation, for witness testimony, prep is only $200 an hour. Courtroom testimony, $400 an hour. Court wait time per hour, $100. Testimony, telephonic testimony per hour, $200. Travel time per hour, $100. So mileage, 56 cents. So just bring this up just to point out some of the major expenses that we get through the Carbon County Children and Youth Agency and some of the emergency services that we have to contract all the time. I'm not sure, I have to go back to Children and Youth and see how many times on average that we have to use these services, but it's quite expensive, and that helps explain why we're over a $5 million, approaching $6 million a year just in children and youth. So, yeah, 80% is reimbursed by the state, but certain things aren't, and the county still has to come up with the balance, and we're still struggling with getting employees there. The current caseworkers are stressed out, as you might imagine, and the caseload just keeps going up, and they're more complex, and we're having more and more mental health issues all the time, so. That's all I have. Hey, meeting adjourned. Good. Ryan, you wanna go first today?
Yeah, first off, can you talk about this public hearing you're having, I guess, for transferring of funds for Camera Park construction? Like, what is?
The standard
Yeah.
CDBG requirement to have to,
They have to do any, a lot of times, or what they have to do every year when they come out with the CDBG funds, you have to have a public hearing. Very seldom does anyone ever show up at the hearings for the funding sources or what you're gonna spend it on. But it's just basically a formality that, we have to go through for the funding sources, so. Have to make sure everybody is fully aware of what's going on.
What are you hoping to do with that money there at Camera Park?
that's
up to
Jim.
the borough.
That's up to them what they wanna do.
Well, it does say in the actual agenda, I think it talks about probably some benches and maybe some equipment. It's right there in the agenda. What they're
So that's
proposing.
nothing that you guys are doing, you're just giving the
No.
money to Jim.
We're just the pass-through for
Yeah.
those funds through the municipalities. We administer the funds through planning and development. The borough decides what they're gonna do, and they draw up the specs in engineering or whatever else they need. That's all done by the municipalities that apply for the funding.
And also then, Chris, can you talk about just about not running for primary election this upcoming year?
No, I think my comments were quite clear, made here, I believe it was last week. Check my Facebook page, LinkedIn, Insta, Twitter, I mean, it's all there.
Okay. Are you still planning on running in the general
Like I
election?
said, all that information I made available publicly through every social media platform I'm on, to include here publicly.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Amy?
Morning, gentlemen. You forgot about Mark.
I'm on board.
Well,
Real quick, okay.
well, I have it here, I thought,
I have this folder, yeah.
well, I thought we were just asking questions that we can get into that, maybe if that's lengthy.
Well, to let you guys get out of here a little early.
I do have questions, but
Right.
it's.
Okay.
We have, yeah, okay, we'll wait, okay.
Are you
Sorry,
running
Mark.
for office? What's up? You do well up here.
Okay, I apologize.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark, now call the monthly meeting of the veteran board to order.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning. First, we'll start with the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting held February 16th of 2023.
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Zelinka,
Yes.
Mr. Svercek, yes. Mr. Arner,
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich.
Yes.
Mr. Notstein.
Yes.
Great. Are there any guests concerning retirement board business? Okay, hearing none. A report of executive sessions, there weren't any held. Next, we'll move on for a motion to ratify the monthly warrant which includes checks number 40886 to 40889 and direct deposit 7020747 to 7021151 for the month of February.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Zelinka?
Yes.
Mr. Spurcheck, yes. Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Great, thank you. The retirement activity report for the month of February had just one retirement, Miss Lynn Donnelly. She served the county for almost 22 years. We wish her a long, happy, healthy retirement. And the monthly benefits paid out were for February $472,834.54. Portfolio value as of February 28th of 23 was $82,554,888.01. I always give the update for the prior Friday. We had a little drop from that to March 10th. At that point, it was $81,371,393. Okay. Any questions on that? All right, next I will seek a motion. This law firm, Kessler, Topaz, Meltzer, and Check LLP, they provide a service to the county for the pension fund, and the fact that if there are any lawsuits against any of the holdings of the fund, they seek on our behalf any recovery for the county. Now, it's typically not a lot of dollars, but their service was provided for years at no charge. So with the pandemic, apparently they missed Carbon County. They were instituting a 5% fee for their services. And just to give everyone an update, I shared this with the board before, but for the public, 2022 they recovered a whopping $647.29. So the 5% fee would be $32.36. They're not going back to charge us any old fees. And I had them do a summary since I became controller from 2020, 2021, and 2022. The total monies recovered for the county pension fund were only $4,142.84. So their fee would have been $207.14. So we just need a motion to approve that. We really don't have a choice. I did consult with Attorney Check from the firm and also with Mrs. Wilson from Marquette, our investment consultant, and she was in agreement that it was certainly reasonable, and I do as well. So at this point, I would look for a motion to accept that fee of 5% going forward.
Yeah, move to accept the proposal of 5%.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Zelinka?
Yes.
Mr. Spurcheck, yes. Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
And Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Solicitors report?
No report.
Okay. Investment managers or other reports, I didn't have anything to report from there. Any new business for the retirement board? Any old business? Any further business? And that's it. Thank you.
Meeting adjourned. Now, Amy.
Back to me now. With regards to the loan, to the general fund of the $4 million, can you talk a little bit about what's going on there?
I can comment on that because I think it makes the commissioners look bad, that we're over budgeting. I can tell you right now, if you look at it like over the years, and this could even be an issue that even went back all the way to 2017. And every you see it once in a while, we loan them money and loan them money. And it was going from 1 quarter to 2 quarters. Now we're up to that we're not getting a reimbursement somewhere between 3 quarters and a whole year.
Referring to children and youth.
Yes, to the children and youth. And I called the governor's office on Tuesday, and I'm not happy with this. They actually, I think they wound up, through this whole process, and I'm not saying we did everything 100% right, but we're really not getting much help there. I mean, now we're taking a loan, and they're not reimbursing us at where we should be at. We should not be, teeter-tottering before 3 quarters and a whole year. And now probably within a couple weeks, we could actually do the process of starting the next process to get our funding. And then that's another 45 days that might be going through that till they would actually even look back to the fourth quarter. So technically, in another month, we could be 4 quarters behind. And it's just like, this is irritating, that we sit here and our children and youth are doing a tremendous job. They are understaffed, and understand the state is understaffed. But for us to be sitting here and then we have, actually they send us a bill for a fine that we didn't report, for I think $68,488, because we didn't report. But they're allowed, I don't know what you would call it, they should be funding us. And I think they gotta revamp that system. If there's something going on, that if we're taking 1.2 million, then give us 1.2 million every quarter. And if the next quarter gotta be corrected, and they would have to take 200,000 off. But here we're at the mercy of getting a loan. And you see what, we gotta pay percentage on it. And there's another one, and it's just not children and youth. We just had a request from aging, that we're behind. They need $330,888 that they didn't get funding through the cooperative block grant. You know, and it puts it on us. We gotta deal with all the regulations, and like, what's the disconnect here? Now, they were supposed to call me back from DHS. I did not get a phone call yet, but I'm hoping that we do, that we can have a meeting with them and try to straighten these things out. And with talking to the governor's office on Tuesday, we are not the only county in this situation. Now, I sort of know who the counties are. I did not talk to them yet, but this is a problem, I think, that's probably all over the state. And I think, as Wayne stated, like in some of these fees that we have, adoptions is one of our, not an issue, but it's something that's costing a lot of money. When we don't adopt somebody, we have to put them in a home, that costs more money. And, you know, I think yesterday, Jill stressed that we wish we had more people that would adopt. You know, that's one of our big, I think, where it's costing us a lot of money. But still back to the, I just don't see it. I mean, you get funding, and why is it that far behind? You know, and I said, and I'm not saying we did everything 100% right, but there's gotta be a different system to this, because it comes back to the taxpayers, and now we're waiting for our taxes to come in, which we always rely on, because our tax people, our taxpayers are always very diligent on paying. We get a high percentage of our taxes back right away the first month. And that's what we have to carry over to. But when we get bills like this, that we aren't being reimbursed for, you know, I think it was like $3.4 million we're behind on children and youth, and then this other one on top for the 330,000, you know, and I just wanna stress that it's not us. It's over this reimbursement, and if they wanna come out and talk to us or whatever it is, but they have to revamp this system. Cause like I said, I hear it across the whole state that there's problems. And I mean, I'll probably get in trouble for making some of these comments, but that's what I think I'm here for. You're here to speak up for the taxpayers, and I think it's time. And they might have trouble with having people, employees, but we have the same thing. And I don't need to hear this, that, well, I only got one employee in the office. Well, then get more and get a better system that this money is allocated to the people. Why do you have to look at it? And then there's one problem when we go out for reimbursement, and there's one problem, and then I guess what winds up happening, you get stuck down to the bottom of the pile, and we don't hear anything about it for months. I mean, something, like I said, something has to be done here. So I don't know if I explained it to you enough, but it's just like, like we do get advance payments, but it's not enough. And it's just like, why can't they just pay us and then redo it? You know, they're making it so hard. Like now they gotta go back and review 3 quarters. Wouldn't it be easier to just allocate and then check that one out, and then the next month readjust? Keep going all the way. And you could see it. I think the media always asked about it. What are we doing? Why are we loaning this money? And that's why it is. Our funding is behind. So I mean, I don't know what else I can tell you, Amy.
I just wanna make sure I have this That's correct. So basically that 4 million will cover the 3.4 that you guys have loaned children and youth until the state.
Well, it's hard to say because what we have to, we're looking at that, what we gotta pay out. And, that should hold us over till the taxes come in. I can't say all of that will go towards them bills, but it's just, it just straps us that we don't have that money.
Okay, so it's basically
know.
to help with operational costs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it could be all county operations, you know, because it's all tied together. When you lose $3 million, that's not good for the whole operations of the county.
Another thing, that's all the more reason we need to maintain a good fund balance at the beginning of the year or at the end of the year to, these unforeseen things. Now, this has been going on for how many years that we're this far down? But it's imperative that we, you know, we look at the fund balance, maintain a good, healthy balance. It's the first time in over 20 years that we really had to take a loan out like this. Previously, we used to have to take out a TANF loan or a tax anticipation note at one time. We used to get that through the banks. At least with this fund, it's under the capital fund. We'll be basically paying ourselves back at that interest rate, but it's still the idea. If you don't have a balanced budget, this is what happens as well. And it's, I think that one aging was blaming a computer problem.
Exactly.
So I do have to give the governor who goes on telling these 2,000 plus employees to get back in the office. And I know we were getting complaints on the time frame for the sheriff's department on the processing, so I don't know if that has improved, Sheriff. We were getting complaints from people getting or applying for gun permits. They were normally a short process, but people were waiting a good period of time, so I don't know, Sheriff, if that has improved.
So that system, usually in the afternoon, continues to struggle to process things. As a way to combat that, I sent a contract for review to the solicitor to move that system online. So people would be able to apply for those permits online. We would approve it. When it's approved, we would contact them. They're in and out in 5 minutes. It doesn't need to have people sitting in that hallway sometimes 3-4 hours. And we talk about an inconvenience. You know, I call the state police all the time complaining about it, and their response is, that's just the way our system is. So I think this option that we didn't have available to us before is a really good solution to correct that problem, and it's at no cost to the county. So, you know, hopefully we'll be able to get that contract approved and put that into place, because that is a significant inconvenience for all the taxpayers that come in.
I'm gonna speak to the taxpayers of Carbon County. Make it clear, there is a tyranny of taxation here in Carbon County at the municipal, the school district, and the county level. So let me give a little perspective to this loan that may go to June, right? About $49,500 in interest. Do you know what a $250,000 tax increase would cost the county taxpayers, right? Basically, that would bring in around $396,000 each year, but in perpetuity. So what would the county residents, the 14,325 seniors, the 9,138 citizens at below the poverty level, what would they prefer? The county to use $49,000, $50,000 out of contingency to pay interest, or do they want to be taxed for the remainder of their lives, and which is $400,000 annually coming out of their pockets? I will take that $49,500 interest payment every day, and I'll join the people, the 90.3% of citizens in Carbon County who have a high school education and understand basic mathematics. So I have to say on the issue of revenue and taxing more than is necessary the residents of Carbon County.
And I think, like the situation that we're in here, we're covering, to me, for the state's responsibility. And I just can't see taxing our taxpayers for that. You know, like I said, they have to devise a different system for our funding to get to us. You know, they give us mandates all the time, but they should send the money with the mandates.
this is a state-approved budget. This isn't something that someone hasn't approved. These funds were approved by the state, right? You approve the budget, you give the money, and they're not doing that.
So basically, they're holding that money hostage, essentially.
The bureaucrats, the technocrats, right, who are probably still working from home instead of being in their office, ensuring that these are reconciled and the bills are paid. And it's costing us and the county taxpayers $49,500 in interest, you know,
And that's if it gets here.
by June, right? But the tax revenues start coming in, so, you know, we're very confident based on historical data, you know.
And with regards to the building damage, all the offices are back in here? You know, are they all good?
Yes.
Right now,
yes,
there will
yeah.
be inconveniences when, we have to put in new carpeting, when they're installing new tile, they have to, the ductwork has the, aluminum covered, insulation that poke holes in the bottom of those to drain the water out of. So all that has to be replaced, so, there's gonna be a lot of inconvenience in offices as they go maybe one by one. We're still not, working with the contractors were in the other day, and they looked at the project, so we're waiting for the price, and we'll try to work out a schedule for the least inconvenience. I know I was talking a tax claim, and like at least a half dozen of their file cabinets can be moved out to the hall and locked, secured, while they're replacing the carpeting in there. But it's hard to replace carpeting with cubicles in there, workstations, etc. Replacing the tiles overhead, they have to replace some drywall, so, yeah, we're gonna look at relocating maybe some locally to the room in the back here, or whatever we have to do, so that has yet to be determined, how we're gonna handle it exactly. Depends on the contractors' or availability, whether we do it
Yeah.
nights or weekends, it's still gonna be inconvenience, because we had to move the furniture on Friday afternoon, that's work not getting done. They come in and do the project, we have to put everything back Monday morning, so. You know, and I don't see them doing carpeting and sealing and everything else in one day either. Could be a week or so. Those are the details we have to work out yet.
And I think we're very fortunate that there was not a lot of drywall damage. It's ceiling, floors, you know, just, and it is a lot. I mean, it's not gonna be $10,000. Might have to add a zero to that. And, but we are fortunate that if it would have been drywall damage, this probably would have turned into a 6-month project. And I think we're looking at that, like I said, I think the ideal would be 2 weeks on one floor, 2 weeks on the next, and 2 weeks on the other one. So hopefully that's the way it would go.
And we were extremely lucky. It didn't damage, we just printed 44,000 tax bills. There was very little paper damage in the files or on desk and that. Some computer equipment, printers and that. That was nothing compared to what it could have been if we would have lost a lot of those files, or the tax bills had it been underneath that area or not delivered yet, so
And
we were lucky.
And sometimes I think it was good that you have crooked floors, because the water flowed away. Like, we had like IT, like if it would have got into the IT, and it was the boxes downstairs or the telephones here on the second floor, like it would have been really a disaster. But we got fortunate, lucky on that.
And Commissioner Arner, you said, you don't have, there's no cost yet, you guys haven't heard back from me.
No, I don't know what it is, and I could estimate what it is. I mean, it's, to me, it's probably gonna be at 100,000. I mean, I'm just guessing. It could be more, and like they're gonna incorporate, when we talk to the adjuster, and I said, we have the adjuster that is through CCAP. I think we're fortunate to have that. I think we have a little bit of the power there, that when things are damaged, we don't replace half of the carpet, we go to the next doorway. And the adjuster was very satisfied with things like that. And he said that if it has to go to working at night, and like I said, I stressed it that it's a 5-day operation here. And they really didn't have no problem with that. I mean, a lot of times you have, if your house, say if you have trouble with your house, they'll put you up in a motel. we don't have anywhere motel to put all these people in. So they have to work around it, and I think the contractors and the adjuster from the insurance company, they see that. It's a little bit of a different situation than just a house. So I said, I think we're very fortunate that the adjuster and they're working together. They're trying to figure out like what square footage of the ceiling tile or the floor. And there's even like with the carpet, like the carpet in some areas is like a whole rug. It takes longer to put a whole rug in like that. So I think what they're gonna do, they're working it out that we can go by the 2x2 tiles. That is better, and we can match what we're doing at the other buildings. That's sort of like an advantage to us. So, and like I said, that CCAP adjuster is the main ingredient in this. That's really working with us.
And then the only other thing I have is, may I have a copy of the proclamation that you guys all read?
For Fuzzy? Or-
Yes, for Fuzzy.
You don't want the junk.
Do you want
the
it sent
resolution
to
for
your?
the junk, do you?
Yeah, she can email it to you. Yeah.
Send her the junk one too, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. In case you want to buy a used, ruined aluminum ladder.
I was in a prison board and I heard about the, so I got an idea.
And there's one of the things, like there's a regulation there, like we gotta advertise this. It probably has no use to anybody, and if you buy it, it's probably not even worth the aluminum to take it. And the process that you gotta do, we gotta get the solicitor to do, a write-up on it, make sure everything's right, and advertise it, and the stuff is probably worth $99. And we probably have $600 in it, in advertising, and it's like,
Well, clarification, we don't actually have to advertise it because it's less than $2,000. In fact, it's negligible. It
We
just
do
has
have
to be
to post
posted in the
Yeah.
courthouse.
We'll
for 10
put it
days.
online also, so if someone's really interested, we'll talk to our IT guys to get it on our website and Facebook page.
in case somebody wants an old ladder.
Yeah, we're about due for a car sale too.
That's all I have, thank you.
Okay.
James,
For planning and development, the COVID-19 ARPA money and CDBG, is that, any of that come in response to the presentation we were given about the blight? Or are those,
I don't,
that's separate, that's separate.
Nothing that was mentioned here that I saw,
no.
no.
okay, and then the damage to this building, you said it's gonna cost like roughly $100,000.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm just speculating. I mean, it could be 50, it could be 150. I mean, and I said, when you start putting overtime into it, and at night, working at night.
Prevailing wage.
Yeah, prevailing wage and shift differential, I might be way underestimating it. And
That's not gonna be a burden on the taxpayer? That's
No,
paid-
no,
paid
no.
for by
no.
what? Who's gonna pay for it?
Through our insurance plan, through CCAP. And that's what I said, the adjuster said that everything would be covered under the claim.
But, like everything, if
Yeah.
it's a or a CCAP program, joint or product that they have, but the more claims they have, the higher our
Price goes
premium.
up.
So, yeah, there will be,
Yeah, somewhere,
it does cost some, really. Yeah, it'll come down.
Next
back
year,
to Honda.
Yeah.
you'll see, yeah.
And then, unfortunately, yeah, there is a cost. We paid for it basically by being in the risk pool. So that's what our premiums are there for. Okay, unfortunately, we have to use it, and it drives up everybody's cost. So,
That's all I have.
fine, anything from the salary board to this?